In 128 million households across America, everyone is asking the same things. What if I get sick? How do I get better? How is everyone else coping? What lies ahead? Tell Me Everything, a place where all of your questions can finally get some answers.
Okay, do I have a story to tell you? More like a saga, actually. I decided to walk with a friend, and we start walking, and I notice this tightening in my chest. It's a gripping tightening. It's as if the bra size was 10 sizes too small. I just adjust myself, I take a deep breath, I said, no, let's keep going. Let's try to walk a little bit. And this burning, tightening in my chest comes again. Yeah, I'm not gonna walk. I knew what I was having. This is angina. My mom and her twin sister come to the hospital, and you're sitting there with barely this cloth, this schmata that I don't know, you're paying all this money. Can't they give you a little Donna Karan, a little Ralph Lauren? No. I go in, I assume they give me this stent because I'm sedated. The next thing I know, I hear the words, "We're losing her." It seems that when he went in for the stent, he popped a vein unknowingly, and I bled out. That 10 minutes that they caught me saved my life. They say in 10 years for a woman, small arteries, you're going to need something. I lasted 10 and I went like this at them. 15, see ya. Here I was at 20. I knew something had to be done. I had to understand that if this happened to me again, that the story that I had to tell had to be more universal than before, than my book, than my advocacy work. It had to be on a place to say, this is not only happening to me. It's just going to be the way I deal with what happened that matters to other people. I have been around heart disease in women. I've been an advocate for thousands of women. I wrote a book on it. Okay, Mom, this is to celebrate you. To say I believe in destiny is to say the least, but here I am stuck in Long Branch, New Jersey, taking care of my mother. So opposite from my life in LA, the Hamptons, and New York. But it's my mother. So this is what I'm gonna do at this age, is take care of her when she needed it.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
This gregarious gentleman comes running over and, hi, who are you? And
Do you know anything about alternative healthcare?
what he has to say is, who knows anything about alternative health? And I'm doing a TV show and I need help. It was one of those acts of destiny. And from that moment on, we went on the journey to create the show.
I'm 100% right. I had met a couple of people before I had met Pamela, but Pamela changed the destiny of the show. To all of our health.
To all of our health.
In the midst of trying to produce this series, I got extremely ill. And there's that old expression that God laughs at us when we make plans. And I was unable, I'm sorry, to work, to live, to do anything that I love doing. And Pamela was there for me, trying to get me on my own road to recovery. And then within weeks of that taking place, Pamela fell ill. We pulled one another through what was, for each of us, an extremely difficult moment in our respective lives. It became clear that we were saved to not only help one another, but to help all those out there that need to be on their correct road to recovery. Because what we're trying to do is extremely different. We're bringing together modalities from Eastern, Western, and alternative healthcare to create an individualized road to recovery for that suffering patient.
Recovery is very different for anybody. But the truth is, I'm still figuring it out. Recovery is recovering everything about you and then taking it on a road that's better part of this now for you. I can't go back and get who I was. I can't go forward and find who I am. I can only be here now with it and go. And that's what I want to do now with people. The only thing I know for sure is if you're not in your body and living well, then you're not living at all. Many moons ago, like 2 years ago, we shot that episode, thinking we were bringing you a television show called Road to Recovery. How people get better from different ailments. And then guess what? God laughed and threw COVID on the whole world. And so now, here we are, 2 years later, shooting Tell Me Everything. And it seems to be the banner for what everybody's feeling. They're going to tell you everything, and they want an answer for it. You know, I know that Charlie went through a lot to get better to do this, 3 operations. I navigated my own recovery. But what I knew for sure when COVID hit is that a lot of people, without all the resources of knowing where to turn, of knowing where to look to get answers, this would be the show for you. I had this little saying on my voicemail for many years. Hi, it's Pamela, tell me everything. And everybody would leave the same message. You want me to tell you everything? I couldn't possibly. Well, now I'm throwing out the dare. Tell me everything. I really do want to get you those answers. I'm known to be relentless. I'm known to get what I want when I'm after it. And I want answers for everybody because this is a hard time. We are navigating choppy seas. We will reach the shore. And the people I have brought on have been people close to me, people far from me, but everybody with a positive look to the future. So stay tuned. Tell Me Everything. Every Sunday night at 7. We'll see you there. So, you know, I want to talk to you today in this episode about Sheroes. Sheroes, the women heroes in the health field. We know about heroes, we hear about them all the time, and they are, thank God for us, in our midst. But the Sheroes in our midst during this time have taken care of the family and the food and the teaching of the kids and the COVID. And some of them today will impart to you some of the ways they really have helped their friends or their clients get through this pandemic, get through the depression, get through the string that was pulled in each of us and the isolation of PTSD, of trauma, of everything that bothers us that we could wash away, buy away, party away, but this time we couldn't. So the Sheroes in our midst today are local in my neighborhood because we couldn't go anywhere else. And you know what? There's no better place to look than in your own neighborhood. They say go to your own ministry to find the answer. So we did. And today they're going to really let you know how to get inside yourself and be your best advocate. So, welcome to Tell Me Everything. I'm here today with Allegra Mamie, and what I believe is people should tell you all about themselves by themselves. So, Allegra, tell me everything.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you for having me. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about myself and how I became a life coach. So I was married very young, and I started a family soon after. And I devoted many, many years to raising my children. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I put my all into that. And then one day I turned around and everybody grew up. And they didn't need me as much as I needed them. And at that point, I realized that I needed to find something for myself, you know, to be able to do something satisfying, something that pulls my heart.
What's the most satisfying part when you hear a person say, I need help, I need guidance? What's the most satisfying part to you of imparting what you know for them?
The most satisfying part is seeing when they feel that they've got it. Seeing that look in a person's eye when they have an aha moment, when they recognize, yes, that's it.
Do you have a go-to remedy? Like, if I could put anything out of a hat that I know works time and time again, being that everyone's an individual, we know that, and every circumstance is different. But there must be something in your remedy box of coaching that you know you could rely on. What is that secret?
Okay, a few things come to mind, actually.
Great.
The first being, like you said, that everyone is different. And people are they're naturally creative, resourceful, and whole as they are. And they don't need fixing. And
I love that.
That is the first realization. So that when the client comes into me, it's not about fixing them, it's not about mending them. It's about me recognizing and helping them to recognize that they are whole already.
I'm sure your method, your life coaching, had a lot of calls ringing you saying, help me. I'm sure, because I know many, many practitioners feel the same way. How did you set them on a direction during this time?
I'll tell you the truth, like COVID hit and I felt like, okay, I gotta be ready, like ready to handle everything. And I wasn't. And it took me time to like get my own feet on the ground in order for me to be able to help other people. So what I think helped me tremendously was a few things. First, just gratitude. Just having a daily gratitude practice where I just looked around me and rather than be eaten up by all the fears and all the unknowns, just being thankful for where I am right now and for what was around me. So that was my first step. But what I noticed in others was that people finally had a chance to stop doing and just be. And I think that was definitely something lifted for a lot of people when, they realized we became so used to just constantly being in motion and doing things and being surrounded by so many different pulls in all different directions. So that time being stuck, I think, was a time for many to just like look in the mirror and say, where am I? Who am I? Who do I want to be? And so I think I'm actually speaking to more people now than I did in the early stages of COVID, because I think it took time for everyone to just get their bearings, and then many had that realization that they want more.
What would you give somebody that can't see you, that doesn't talk to you, home now watching and saying, oh, I wish I had a life coach? What would be the one tool they could do by themselves, like a self-help?
I want to say, know your why. Think about the reasons behind whatever it is that you're doing. I'll give you an example. We can, let's say, be stuck at home as we were during COVID, in the kitchen, meal after meal, looking after kids. It could be so monotonous and it could feel like nothing. But if you pause for a minute and you think about why am I doing this? What am I bringing to my role? What do I want to be doing? All of a sudden, it can give the most mundane activity meaning.
Yes, meaning.
And it can elevate where you are. So, no matter what you're in, wherever you are, you can think about, why am I here? And that often leads to more questions like, do I want to be here? Do I want to change? And, one other thing that I'd like to say that I notice often people, as human beings, we get stuck and we sometimes feel like we are a victim of our circumstances and we don't see any light. But when we realize that we don't have a choice on what circumstances we get, but we do have a choice on how we view those circumstances. And I think that word there, choice, is a very liberating word.
Well, I hope people choose to watch this and take what you just imparted, because I'll tell you, I have been around the block, but I feel richer just hearing it. It's like a refresh for technology. Sometimes you have to unplug it and plug it back in. I think that's what life coaching does. It unplugs your life a little and it plugs you back into what's meaningful. I thank you so much for this today. I know you'll help many, many people by what you went through. I hope you stay doing it and it keeps filling you. And Allegra, you told us everything.
Thank you, Pamela.
So on Tell Me Everything right now, I have Joy Duche, who I am positive is going to tell me everything because she has such a beautiful Instagram that always enlightens and enlivens, at least when I see it every morning. So Joy, tell me everything about you.
Okay, thank you for having me. It's truly an honor. So without labeling myself, sometimes called a spiritual guide, I'm called a holistic guide, a mentor, a breathwork facilitator.
Now that's a lot of experience you're handing me right there. So I have a feeling it was a door you walked in for yourself, knowing you a little bit. You want to tell us a little about that, how it found you?
Sure. I would say that the awareness or the awakening happened right soon after I had one of the greatest events of my life. I experienced an ischemic stroke.
So when you had the stroke, was your life so altered physically, mentally, emotionally, all of the above, of course, but how did it look for you when that happened to you?
Yeah, it was all of the above. It was, I call it the Holy Trinity of the mind, body, spirit not being in alignment and escaping what was going on inside of me. There was tremendous emotional pain, mostly when I lost my brother very tragically and very suddenly, and that broke my heart. It literally broke my heart.
When clients come to you now, is it that place of darkness that they're looking for light?
Yes, absolutely. I think there is an amount of trust, even if it was that small, of that spark, that divine spark, that I was able to hold on to, even though there was such a tumultuous, tapestry of pain and suffering and confusion in my life. But if I was able to just hold on to that little spark, then I knew that that was the illumination that was going to wake me up to a whole new world.
So what would be one remedy, one way you would tell somebody, given that everybody's different and all circumstances are different, what would you tell one person coming in and saying, I can't make it? It's just too hard.
The first thing that's most important with my work, it's a core value, is to be fully present with my client, with my the student, whoever it is that comes that has the curiosity. And when there is full presence, that I can, the thing is that the magical superpower that I reference is I can see their beautiful light within them. I can see that so clearly.
And so many people need that now, Joy.
Yeah, and it's wild because there's so much that has distanced them from that they can't see it. But I can urge them to just trust that it's there. And then if they're willing, there's a willingness, right, that has to be there. And the willingness is to unravel all of the conditioning, all of the stuff that has really distanced them from that beautiful light, their core being, their core essence.
What I would ask you that's so curious about this, during this time, when I think more people experience darkness from the outside in and the inside out, both were true.
Yeah.
Were there more calls to you? Did you notice it more? Did they notice they needed it more? How did that go in the last few months?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So interestingly enough, people started to come to me before COVID, and it was just a very auspicious synchronization, I think, from the divine.
I find that for healing, people have to answer the question, what am I willing to do and how long am I willing to do it?
Yes.
Do you find you have to get that from a person so they know they're committed to the work?
Absolutely. It's even more prevalent right now that I want to say that my space is open for everyone, but really it's the ones that are willing to commit to get uncomfortable in their life in order to get more comfortable in their life.
And I know that people fall away when they get close to their pain, which is part of the work. But now, in the face of all this again, in COVID time and change of new normal time, how do you get them on a new direction?
My work, my body of work, there's a holistic life system that I have formulated. It's actually meant to synthesize within our being. The more that you commit to it, the more results you'll get. So there's a spectrum, and if somebody wants to begin very mildly, we can start very slowly, but they'll need to choose that one thing that they can keep up with, the one thing that will create that continuity.
What a great relationship to the soul you are curating. I must say that I'm in envy of you of the time of my life when I went on the journeys for myself. But I think you're the perfect goddess to hold this stick.
Oh,
I thank you for telling me everything, and I hope everybody gets to enjoy you and find you.
Thank you so much. This is such an honor, and really, truly very humbled to be here today with you.
So now on Tell Me Everything, I have Alice Sheroes, somebody who I just found by reading her, by getting her, I don't know, daily fix on her Instagram, and they always resonated. So Alice, welcome to Tell Me Everything, but you got to tell me everything about yourself a little bit.
Well, thank you so much for having me. What a privilege and a pleasure to be here and sitting with you.
Ditto.
I work with people who are looking to live their lives in a particular way, in their own way. So it's not a misconception, but life coaching, there tends to be this, you have a goal, we're going to get you there, here's how it's going to work.
Like an accountant for emotions.
Exactly, exactly. Okay. The thought is that you're going upwards. You're moving and you're trying to get somewhere, here to there. But how I work as a life coach is that, yes, the goal is to take you wherever it is that you want to go, whether it could be you do have a specific goal, or maybe you are just looking to live your life with better relationships, have more fun. But the way that I work is that the journey is this way. It's about opening up more space within so that you can really get to know yourself, be at home with yourself, learn how to be in relationship to yourself. Because no matter where we are in our lives, we're always
with ourselves.
We're coming home to ourselves.
So why did you choose this?
Well, way back, I'm doing this 11 years, but I've been on the personal growth, I call it self-help journey, if you will, for about 25 years now. And I got into coaching specifically because I knew there was something I wanted to do, and I just didn't know what that could be, meaning to work with people or to earn money. And I kept hearing that you should be working with people. And then through my own evolution and my own path of really starting to look at who I was, how I understood myself, what I could offer, I started to gravitate towards, well, maybe to create that space for people to begin to look within. And then at the time should I go to social work school, or should I, what's another way to work with people? And the faster track at the time was coaching. And back then I called it the eye-rolling profession, because people would say to me, what are you? I'd say a life coach, and they'd roll their eyes. But I got trained, I got certified, and what I discovered in the training, in my certification program, was that I had no clue who I was. And I did not know what I was capable of. So there were things I knew about myself.
Oh, wow. So it was really what you came to learn, your teaching.
Yes.
What would you say is the main goal you hear over and over that's kind of has a synergy to what's going on in the world today?
I hear so much anxiety. Everybody has anxiety. everybody. So they come in to treat the anxiety. So they're anxious, and then they're upset at themselves and anxious that they're anxious. So it's this like compounded thing. In terms of
And what's the remedy?
for anxiety,
Yes. Just overall, right? I know, just in your little toolbox, I want you to go out and give me one remedy for anxiety that I could use, that anyone could use.
the first thing I say to them is, you have to stop beating up on yourself. Like, we have
Great
to
advice.
leave that, right? We have to leave that judgment. Like, let's leave it outside of the room just for this session, because it really has no place here.
So do you get any men that want to be exploratory
yes.
in their lives like
Yes.
this? Okay, we're getting
Yes, yes, we are getting there.
We're getting
we
there.
are. The truth is, anybody who is interested in learning about themselves, moving themselves forward, being introspective, and developing themselves.
Well, dialogue always works, and I can't tell you how much I want to thank you for this, because I hope that people could hear what life coaching is. I often think they think it's a course they're going to take, pass the test and go. But it's a life conversation that you're really starting to have. And I so thank you for joining on Tell Me Everything. You've told us everything. I'm sure there's much more to tell, and there will be.
Yes.
Alice, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
I've been around a lot of powerful women in my day, but today was really quite fascinating. As one of the only men on the set today, I learned a great deal from these powerful women. And I think the empowerment of women is a subject matter we don't have to talk about anymore, because we met at least 5 or 6 of them today. I mean, I've been around Pamela a long time now, and believe me, I have one powerful woman at my side. That much I know. So be with us next time when we can teach you how to be your best advocate. We're going to give you the information so that you can be your best advocate. So come tell me everything.
All right, Charlie. So I have to say he's the best sport. He can handle a lot of feminine energy. And today, the reason we chose that is because, you know, women do get a pat on the back, and they get all that other rap. But the truth is, they hold everything together. And they can hear everything. So we chose the first Tell Me Everything to be that, so that you feel comfortable, because who doesn't tell their mother, their grandmother, their sister, or their best friend everything? Whether it's a sale, or that you have a pimple on your back, or that you have a new boyfriend, or that you're breaking up with a boyfriend. It's all in there, women telling women everything. No, it's not just a female forum. But you know, we know as women it starts with us and it usually ends with us. So I'll leave it there. Tell me everything. I can hear it. I am the ultimate foodie, David, so being here like this, for some girls it's maybe Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent. For me, roasted chicken polenta with a chef in the kitchen. Oh my God.
That first bite's gonna be here. The first bite is as important as the first kiss.
I think food is still love.
And we're happy to be in Asbury. And I want to thank everybody in this community for welcoming us like no other community.
Asbury Kitchen, Asbury Kitchen.